Miracle Horse in front, and Lazarus has done it again.
It's all Fernando Bale, the champion, well clear of Waymore's Blues, and Fernando Bale.
And welcome back to our pacing segment of Racing, Pacing and Chasing. I'm Aaron Bain and I'm joined by my co-host tonight, Rocky Butterworth. Welcome, Rocky.
Good to be here, mate.
And we must add, before we get into it, we've got a lot to get through, but the Kapunda Harness Racing Club, we thank them for their support week in, week
terrific.
out.
Yep.
Great club to have on board. But our show, Racing, Pacing and Chasing, the major sponsor of the show, the Prince Albert Hotel in Gawler, or Prince Albert Gawler. So we thank them for their support as well, week in, week out. So
through the main man, Matty Knight, as well, of course.
Done a great job getting them on board, and we love getting sponsors on board and also helping promote their business. And without them, this show can't go on and bring you, our viewers, the winners week in, week out.
Exactly.
So a bit to get through and just local news, but we had Wayne Hill on the show last week for racing, and we spoke a bit about the brother-sister rivalry between him and Danny, and we said, Wayne, I jokingly said he was on track to drive 300 winners. He'd started with a massive bang in the first 10 days of the season, but I think Danny got word of that and listened to the interview, because she said, step aside, young brother, or young, I'm not sure if it's young or old, but 14 races on the weekend at Globe Derby. She didn't drive in one of them, she had a rest. So she had 13 races, she won 6 of them, placed in 4 of them, and she was one of them was a beaten favourite that ran last. Obviously something wrong with Rocktel's, very talented horse. So she should well have won 7 of the 13, 7 of the 14 for the weekend. She's on fire.
Well, both of them are, Wayne and Danny, are on fire. You kind of hope that Ryan's stable starts firing up so he keeps driving winners, and, maybe Kenny again might find a stable that he can attach himself to, like he did with DK. And have a little bit more competition. But those two just put the foot down from first meeting to the last meeting, don't they? They are at it.
And you don't only talk Globe, do we? Talk Mildura as well. Mildura we had a quiet week with no Mildura last week. We come into Mildura next Tuesday. So they got Globe Saturday night, Globe Monday, then they go to Mildura Tuesday. Their week's action-packed. But I said on the first episode I was looking forward to the battle of Chris Waller and James McDonald over the spring and this season. The battle of Danny versus Wayne, I reckon that's really going to heat up. They're 9 wins and 7 apiece. Danny leads the way. I reckon it's going to seesaw, and there'll be, if we say 52 weeks of the year, there might well be 40 lead changes. And I reckon we monitor that battle very closely on this show.
I think for the sake of the show, maybe we chuck a bit of petrol and a couple of fires with them as well, and really get the animosity going between them.
Should we do a good drive and a bad drive each week of them? Or
for the Hills?
Yeah. We'll give them the best drive of the week and the worst drive out of the 2.
That's good.
Yeah, one's got to be one and one's the other.
Yep.
I'm just sorry, but I reckon we might pop Wayne more than we pop Danny. We all love Danny. Wayne might be able to take it better than Danny. But anyway, that's all right. I'll tell you another one that's firing. Well, there's another 2 stables that have caught my eye in the first 3 weeks of the new season, and full credit to both of them. Shane Loon, stable absolutely firing at the moment with 5 winners, and what a great start to the season.
It is. He's done a really good job. I mean, he's got Hockey Greg there now that you had in your stable for a while. Then went over to Scotty Ewan, and then Keith Routley had it, and every one of those 3 could get it to run about 2 minutes or just under.
2.5 in my books, but
and then it goes to Shane, and it's cracking 2-minute mile rates. And its last win, it sort of stalled at the top of the straight and then found again. So full credit to Shane. He's got his horses going very well.
No, certainly. And coming into the claiming series, which the HRSA announced last week, he'll certainly feature very prominently in that. And no doubt be out claiming a few horses in the next week, 10 days before they have to be in his name for that series. So the other one is Claire Goble, which she's had 9 starters for this season in 3 weeks, 4 winners, 4 placings, 3 on the weekend. Just really does a great job with a boutique team, and we touched on Kirsten Mooney working that 6 to 10 in the galloping world, and that's probably the Claire Goble of harness racing. Really.
She's done this for years, mate. Yeah. She's just done her job year in, year out with particularly the Clarendon horses.
Yes.
But they just,
one of them won on the weekend, Clarendon Dazzle.
They're just so consistent. She takes them to the races very regularly, and they just don't disappoint.
Yeah.
I think she does a terrific job and minds her own business out there and just trains winners.
We'll talk about it later in the show, but the drive on, we'll watch the replay, because the drive on Canada Bay, I actually didn't watch the race live. I was gearing horses up at the time, and when I went back, I was watching Sky Channel that night, and someone said, drive of the night, Ken Rogers on Canada Bay, and we'll talk about that later in the End of the Money segment, because I tell you what, and when we watch the replay, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but one to be sort of, to be seen to be believed, really.
Yeah.
Also, just touching on, we had a special mention to Don't Tell William last week in our run of the week, and good luck to Toby Ryan this week. He heads over to Melton for effectively what we used to know as the MO, is the 70 to 79 now. And drawn barrier 2, probably got the, they may well drive him the same way and light him up. He's only over the short. If they light him up and get across and he can find himself leaders back at Melton, I tell you what, Toby's going to have him right in that. And full credit to Lisa's driving as well, and good luck to them. They do a magnificent job, Toby and Lisa. Great people with it as well.
He's one, mate, I love what he's doing now because he had that spell of maybe 6 months where his horses...
Over-racing and
he couldn't find the winners.
Yeah.
And then he started to get a couple, and all of a sudden he's back in a bigger way than he's ever been. And this horse just looks happy, fit, really, really healthy. Yeah. He's got it flying, and it's got to be a good chance.
100%. If it finds the peg line, you've got to be on the pegs to be a real life hope at Melton. If it couldn't get across and has to probably race one off, it probably dents its chances. But if it can get across, right in it, Don't Tell William, and they'll see the best of him.
Yep.
Now we touched on Mildura Harness Racing Club last week, and obviously we got the meeting on Tuesday night. Coming up this week, so there'll be no doubt 11 or 12 races there, as there always is. But they had their awards presentation. They had a week off, and they had their awards presentation. And Wayne Hill and Jaden Bruin featured. They just featured prominently. They said, "SA boys, come over." It's basically it's our second home, you could say, Mildura. But we're going to get into it, and I think he's going to be on the show maybe next week, Jaden.
Yep.
We've got one question for him, I believe. What happened at Renmark? That's all we've been told.
We have to ask that question.
I don't know, and we'll leave it at that. Yep. Something happened at Renmark, because I'll go on record as saying that Jaden, you're out to Wayne, is that correct, on Monday? Such and such has just rang from Renmark for you. So hopefully we don't get either party in trouble. But I was actually driving back on Two Oars Road, and they were only making their way home at 3 p.m. They were supposed to be at Globe at 5 o'clock. And I tell you what, I asked Wayne the next morning, I said, what time do we finish? And it was, let's just say early hours.
Early hours?
It might have been similar time as what they rocked up back to Gawler.
Well, the success they've had at Mildura, mate, I think is fantastic. But I've been going up there for you a bit over the last 6 months with your dad. And I tell you what, people at Globe Derby, we should take a bus up there of Globe Derby participants and show them how friendly and how well people get on at Mildura. You walk around with your horses and take them for their wee when you get there, and you say good day to 15 people on that journey. And then if you've got a horse in and you're struggling because someone said time to get in the parade ring, you've got 2 or 3 people come over and help you gear a horse up. It is just the most relaxing place to go and take your horses, and the racing's really competitive, but you win a race and there's congratulations coming from everywhere.
100%.
And I just wish we could emulate that here.
Michelle McGinty-Wilson does a great job there.
Yeah.
And I was talking to that as well. Like we got the transport company, Valley Horse Transport, and that only it pulled up.
Right here, he's going to sponsor.
Yeah, we'll be on there. So we actually, and that was a result of what happened last week. We pulled up there to do a changeover at Mildura. She opened the gates, come in anytime, ring us. They just want to make you feel welcome.
Yeah, they do.
They're a great club. So we'll no doubt bring you an update on Mildura next week as well. But just quickly, the last thing, just in general news, and we'll just skim on it quickly. We talk about the big races coming up in the spring. We're only 3 weeks away now from the Victoria Cup in harness racing. The Pride's Easy Fee Victoria Cup. I'm working on Prides as well for this show to get them on board.
Good.
They're a very good supporter of ABR.
Yeah, you're a good supporter of theirs, mate.
Both, vice versa. But early favourite, Tiger Tara, been a bit hit and miss with his form.
Yeah.
But when he gets to Melton, Victoria Cup, I thought he's short enough, $2.75. Chicago Bull's the interesting one at $8, whether they make the clash, because we talk about Danny and Wayne and Chris and James at McDonald. The Bull versus the Tiger, that'll be a clash of the spring. So in harness racing terms, so we look forward to that. But plenty to get through. Let's get straight on with our runners to follow. And that is, let's get on to our first segment, 3 wide, no cover. All right, 3 wide, no cover. So this is week in, week out, where we find our unlucky runners for the week. And last 2 weeks I've been unlucky. I've tipped you ace to play. I've tipped you Glenferrie Bunter. Ace to play was 3rd at big odds. Glenferrie Bunter was 4th, and I probably should have won the race. I probably a little bit short odds. It was a drop in class.
I did take your lead on that race, mate, and unfortunately I left with the elephant in your pockets with that one.
I can't. Yeah, well, we'll leave it at that. I don't want to say too much, but.
Probably should have won.
Probably should have won. Let's all just say that, you know. But
going well.
Big clash this weekend. Race 5 at Globe Derby. My two 3 wide no cover horses the previous week clash. Ace to playing Glenferrie Bunter. So what I'm going to suggest to you is that you go a box trifecta. Right, it's a tough race, but go a box trifecta. Ace to play Glenferrie Bunter in the field. Just there you go. Just see how you go. Wayne back on Glenferrie.
In that order, or are you taking the top
box,
two to first?
No, box. Just a box. Box 3. So I'll do it. Let's have some of your 52,000 you won on the first 4 that you want to gloat about. But our 3 wide no cover this week. I'm going to mention 2 here. I'm going to mention, and I don't like doing it, but I'm going to mention one of our own that raced on the weekend. And we talk about Adam Trinder earlier in the show that got some abusive text messages after the race. I got abusive text message from none other than yourself.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, no, all it said was, really? The way on the tactics adopted on Ala Vitesse on Saturday night that you own, major shareholder in. Yep. But I tried ringing you to put those...
no answer.
No answer. The owner didn't answer, didn't want to talk to me.
Nah.
So I sent a group update. Everyone responded, all other 9 owners of the 10, except, or 9 connections, that there's plenty of owners in there, there's probably up to 30. Everyone responded except yourself.
Yep.
Still dirty on it.
Sometimes
I rang you at 11 o'clock Saturday night.
Yeah, what'd I do?
Yeah. Absolutely the rudest spray I've ever copped from you. Sorry, none better than Swan Hill. That's still the best I've copped. I'm going to put it as my 3 wide no cover for that very reason, and Wayne will support me on this. Everything he tried to do, he tried to go forward, he couldn't get forward. He went back, he had a wall horse in front of him, tried to come out at the
I'm not blaming the driver.
Please explain.
Well, he said he was driving him straight.
Oh, here we go. So for that very reason, we'll say no more, right? Like we said, we'll say no more. Everything we tried to do in the race didn't work out.
No, that's true.
So she'll be in at Mildura on Tuesday, and I'm going to put her as our 3 wide no cover.
Yep.
The other one is Matt Cruiser, out of the Luke O'Neill camp.
Yep.
Watched the way it hit the line in the free-for-all on Saturday night. Ryan drove it. Got a good relationship with this horse, Ryan. He's getting it settled, getting it away from the tapes very well. Obviously, Ryan's very good at the standing start.
Yep.
But goes over the line, plugs in, and Ryan was come back very pleased with the horse. And anyone that knows anything about harness racing would have seen the run of it on Saturday night.
Yeah, and Luke's got his horses going
100%.
Quite well at the minute. And I've been following Matt Cruiser for his last 3 or 4 starts, and he's just not having the luck that he needs. He's either getting taken on when he has led over the short, and the time he did find the lead really easily, it was probably 400 metres too far. Yeah. So he's ready to win a race, no doubt. Very good selections.
Yeah, he'll come into his own in this claiming series. I know the claiming series comes over the longer trip, but if Ryan can get him to settle somewhere in the rut, Matt Cruiser will feature right in that 17 grand
I agree
final.
with that.
So, we'll continue to find those unlucky runners, both here and interstate, and that's what we try and do for our viewers. So, or at least start a conversation like you and I did, and it took me 5 hours to be back talking to you Saturday night. So, I'm pleased we're back on civil terms anyway, but I did
have an excuse, mate. My son played in a premiership on Saturday, and it was either take the pats on the back from the players for being such a good assistant coach, or talk to my nuffy trainer.
We'll leave it at that. Anyway, thanks to Punt Club for their support of 3 wide no cover segment, and of all 3 segments as well. So of the 3 codes. But we'll move on now with our special segment, In the Money. Now we're back with In the Money. The segment sponsor this week is the Fluoro Milk, Clay Mods and Kimmy K. Good mates of yours, Rob.
Yeah, they are.
Do a great job there. So In the Money, we're always on the lookout for horses to keep following. And again this week, I reckon I found one of my old horses that went down to Tassie.
Yep.
I don't know if the boys will like me. They're a great group of owners, still got horses with me, but this horse here, trained by Ryan. We talked earlier about Ryan's team just starting to fire back up again.
Yep.
He does a great job with his team as well. But I'm going to go the way of Shadow Control for my In the Money this week. Been big odds its last few. Was 33rd on Monday, went $28. Always sort of looms into the race and looks like the winner. But I note on Monday it's in Noms. The fields aren't out obviously when we go to air here. But Ryan back on and going to be drawn favourably, I believe. Just watch this space, I reckon. He's only 1-4 from 110, so it sounds like it's not even 4%.
I'm thinking your mates with Ryan, your mates with Tyson, and you just had a brain fade.
No, watch this space. It's ready to win.
Rightio.
Okay. Great group of owners, the punters and collectors.
I hope it wins for the boys.
No, it only got beat a metre, and Sam Pascoe's actually got this horse going really well. It's actually running very well for Sam Pascoe. They're driving at sit sprint, so Ryan back on board. If it doesn't go any good, he might put Sam straight back on. But no, that's my in the money this week. I had Marangi track last week. Marangi track, so we haven't seen him since. Don't know where he's gone.
He'll race Tuesday.
He'll race Tuesday, but if the free for all stands up, that's mine this week. Shadow Control in the money.
Good on you, mate.
Anyway, we'll be. Let's move straight along to my runs of the week, which we spoke about. So let's go to our segment now. Run of the week. All right, we're back with Run of the Week now. So our segment sponsor, Punter Harness Racing Club, and I got two, but I've only mentioned two because they're out of the one stable, and we spoke about it earlier in the evening. Claire Goble, she had a double on Saturday night with Smackwater Jack and Canada Bay. Smackwater Jack, very impressive, I probably could say. Been knocking on the door to win, and didn't get things its own way. If you watch the replay, and we'll cut to it a little bit here, where it shows it's last at the bell.
Pressure on this leader, one out, one.
And 20 off the leader. And then it's still 15 from at the 400. 4 wider in the last bin, which at Globe Derby is not easy.
Used to run on. Long Tan Casanova behind those, and on the inside, battling away, Doug's Limousine. Steinman in front. Smackwater Jack continues to come at it though. Steinman in front. Smackwater Jack gets it. Smackwater Jack beats Steinman.
No.
Like if you're last at the bell, you've got to make up a lot of ground. And the leader went 58.4.
Yeah.
It's probably broke 57 off the track. And it ran through the line this week. Again, we touch on Sam Pascoe driving Shadow Control. She's driving very well at the moment, Sam Pascoe. And those sort of horses, the sit sprint horses, do run for her. She does get the best out of them. So
probably the only knock for me with Smackwater Jack, mate, is he hasn't got super speed out of the gate. So
not as versatile.
Yeah, so he's not as versatile. He's, even if he draws 1 or 2, he's not going to lead. And if he's out wide, he's got to go back. So he needs a lot of luck in his races, and you'll get it one day. And I'm sure, I think it's a very good selection into the runs of the week. But he's just one that you wouldn't take the shorts on him. I wouldn't have thought.
Well, I think the shorts were offered the week before, and he got beat. But he backed it up and probably a little bit longer price. But this Saturday night he's drawn barrier 7, so he's not going to get things his own way. And he's going to have to be back in the field again because he can't go forward. If he was to sit park, that's where he probably struggled.
That's right.
Obviously, full credit to Claire, done a great job. And this horse has come from WA. The other one is Canada Bay. And I just want to talk about this a little bit. The driver, Ken Rogers, and we'll watch here. They've only gone 500 metres, and he skipped away 50 after dispatch. And then coming into the straight the first time, he saw an opportunity. So he was back 4 or 5 pairs back, and Regal Knight wasn't filling its position on the back of Futurist. You'll see him take the inside run. So he's risking being 3 fence on one of the fancied runners. He's taken the opportunity and squeezed out 250 metres later, which we'll see on the footage here, and got one out 2 back on the back of Futurist.
Attack on, he's only about 10 metres away behind Regal Knight. Out in front though, it's Magic Trump leading the way by a full sulky's length. Julie.
That one in the race, 2 laps out. If you've ever seen a driver win a race 2 laps out, that was it. Because then he did not leave Futurist's helmet until Norman's Gate and won well.
Canada Bay goes quickly, pokes his head in front. Futurist is in for the fight though. Behind those trying to run on was Better Have Time and also Regal Lager. Canada Bay in front of Futurist. Futurist trying to kick back, but Canada Bay's got a long neck in front, and Canada Bay will beat Futurist.
Will. No, he can do that. When he's ready to drive a race, mate, he can drive it.
So that's my other run of the week, not only for the horse, but the drive. That's probably the drive of the week. So but I've featured them both there. But probably don't have to watch the concluding stage. We touched on, it's the part that wins the race is 2,000 metres out, basically. Or, sorry, 1,700 metres out. So my runs of the week, Smackwater Jack and Canada Bay, Claire Goble, team on fire. Anyway, we're going to go to our last segment, Trial File. All right, back with Trial File now. So just a little segment we've added in from episode 1, and we just like to find one from the trials. And I tell you what, we think we found one, and we got the Culture King beat last week, but that was it. Poor bugger. He'll sleep for a month of Sundays after his run. But what about when I rang you on Sunday morning after the trials? I always ring you if you don't make it out. And I said we had one trialling in the race, Big Bang Lenny, which I said to you at the time. I said, if I said to you Big Bang Lenny broke 2 minutes, right? What would you say? What did you say to me?
I said you'd be lying.
Yeah, I was delusional.
Yeah.
He broke 2 minutes. Problem is he got beat 65 metres. That was a true fact.
I tried to put that in my head because I was laying on the couch watching a bit of footy, and you finally rang me. Usually ring at 10:30, but you still had the shits from Saturday night and rang me about 3. and said she went very, very well on the trial. And then when you said it got beaten 65, all I could picture in my head is, how far is 65 at the Gawler track? And you're happy with it, but then I watched the replay. That thing didn't slow down.
We haven't mentioned his name yet, but my Papa Bear. What about the sectionals appeal? Dean Girardi drove it for Michael Harding, first up from Perth. So we had Jake on the first episode talking about Three Kings as a lowly assessed horse. My Papa Bear was actually in the same stable as the Three Kings over there, come over on the same truck. So he's only had it all of 5 or 6 weeks. But it peeled the first half in 58-1. Thought, Big Bang Lean doesn't run that for his second half, so they're going to slow up here, I hope. No, we just get quicker. We go home our last half in 57-4, 28-9, 155.5 for the 2070. Mind you, not the mile around Gawler, for the 2070. Talk about the Gawler Greyhound track later being returned over. But
I know. And someone tried to take the gloss off it and say, well, it's just a leader in Perth. It's only ever been able to win when it led.
Won't matter where it draws first up. It'll be it's a 55 rating.
It was like Dean Girardi being told there's only one bacon and egg sandwich left.
What about Dean Girardi's comments when he got off the track? I never let it go. I calculated the time, and I know it's spending a little bit of time on it, but it is some run.
It is.
155.5. So we work our horses at the Gawler track in about 240 over the 2000. It's run 227 for the 2070. It was because before that it was a lead time of 32.
Yeah.
The 155.5 was its last mile, not its mile rate.
Ridiculous.
Unbelievable. Trial fault. You
Looking
won't
forward
find
to going
any
to the
better.
races.
My Papa Bear, you'll get $1.04, but take it. Better than bank interest at the moment. Anyway, that's our segments for the harness show. It's been a great harness show this week. We've got no special guests. We have had Jake and Wayne on the show, but we've got Jaden Bruin and Justin Bruin in the wings, I believe, next week.
Yep.
So we might get both of them on the show
That'd be
together.
good.
That'd be a good show.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And spend a bit of time with them. So, and just talk about their involvement in harness racing, SA, and also a possible move back to Victoria.
Yeah, well, I'm
many are
hearing that.
talking about.
I spoke to Justin for a little while on Monday and said he'd sold up and looking to go back. I don't know where he's going, but if I was him, I'd be heading straight up around the Mildura area where he's got Agan, Terang, Swan Hill, Mildura.
Might be heading to Charlton.
Might be heading to Charlton?
I don't know. I haven't heard. I'm just saying, not a bad little facility there. And Greg Norman's doing a great job there as well.
Yeah,
But,
that's right.
You know, all in all, it's they do a great job with their horses, and look forward to getting them on the show as a guest next week. So, Rocky, it's been a great harness segment of racing, pacing, and chasing. And as always, hopefully we can find you a winner out there to the viewers, and one or two at value. So, but thanks again, and again to our sponsors, the Kapunda Harness Racing Club, and also the Prince Albert Gawler. It's been a great show, and we'll be back this time next week.